Hi, welcome to day 23 of 30 Days of Creativity. I'm Pam Himmerling, and today's project is going to be some creative ways of wrapping a gift. Now, I recognize that most of us are still not with our family, other extended families or friends and people that we might be doing gift giving with. So I'm doing this as a way down the road that you would then think about things creatively when you're together and you're gift giving, or maybe you are actually sending a package off to someone. You could implement some of these ideas. First off, I'm just going to show you some of the materials that I have on hand, and then I'm going to show you how I actually embellish some pre-wrapped packages. So let's start with the gift wrap. So I have a tendency to use primarily craft paper. So you can buy craft paper on the roll, just plain like this. But before I did that, before I ever even thought to do that, because I don't know why I didn't think to do it, I used to take, and I still can because I've got these if I were to run out, I would take large bags, paper bags, cut them apart, and then use the back side without any writing to create my own craft paper. So, wow, that is a great idea in my opinion if you want craft paper and it's free, or in some cases you've spent a nickel on this bag, but that is inexpensive wrapping paper. So I have all different kinds of craft paper. I have craft paper with white and white flowers and polka dots, and actually even some craft paper that has blue dots on it. Now, I also like, when I am at the thrift store, I like to look and see what other types of paper might be around, and sometimes I get lucky and I find, like I found, I'm sure this was like from a school or something, it's but I just love that shade of green. It's this really kind of muted, I don't know, green. And it's kind of worn around the edges, and I love that. So I use this a lot. Now, it's not the massive tall kind, so you know, some of the gifts are too large, would be too large for this. And the other thing I've talked about, and I only brought one down here with me, was the vintage wallpaper. And I actually find that at the thrift store as well. And you can find white that just has like a texture. You can find all different, it doesn't have to be vintage even. So there's a lot of really cool wrapping paper or wallpapers out there that are the ends or rims or things like that that could be used. So the other thing I think I've talked about in other videos, my love of old maps. And this is a great option for gift wrapping. Makes a very unique gift wrap. I also have talked about my love of books. Here is the biggest book right now that I have, and I have wrapped a very small gift, a little jewelry item in this book paper. Another way you could do it if you wanted to use book paper is you could actually tape a bunch together and then use it that way as wrapping paper. Another thing I have seen is to actually stitch the pages together, which is super cool. Another option for that. So those are the options for the different types of wrapping paper that, you know, that might be different than what you would traditionally use. So in terms of tape, I have just regular tape. But typically what I like to use is I get these washi tapes, which are just decorative tapes, and I use that instead because I think they're really fun. Now, you know, you don't have to have this many, but you could get a few, and they're not that expensive, and they really make your package just look a lot cuter. I brought down a kind of a selection of ribbons. Now, I do not want to show you how many ribbons I have because you already believe that I am a paper hoarder, and I would hate for you to see my ribbon collection because although it is not as great as the paper hoarding, it is significant. So I do like ribbon, and I like all kinds of ribbons. So that definitely is another problem that I have. which is an intervention for another day. So I also like to use fabric pieces. So when I find fabric rims at the, I don't go to the fabric store to buy these, at the thrift store or whatever, I get them. Sometimes they're old napkins or just the ends. Like this was actually, I can't believe it. I must have bought these at some point, but I think these are placemats. And I think this would be really cool as a wrapping at some point. This is a napkin. This was some kind of like a little top thing at the thrift. Anyway, I thought this would be cool as a wrapping. And then I have some napkins and just some different textured, textured fabric. Now, one of the things I was thinking about, now, if you're cleaning out your closet and you're getting rid of some of your clothes, you might want to take a second look and go, is this fabric cool enough that I could cut it up and use it as a part of a wrap or as strings to tie something up? I would take a second look at that box that you have been purging your closet, because you might have some real treasures in there. I'm going to grab some stuff from over here. These are other things that I use a lot of times, felt pieces. Now, this is just a bag of rice that the rice comes in it. I think I got from Costco, and I've been cutting it up and using pieces of it because I love that texture. You could even use this side if you wanted. I also have smaller book paper for embellishing and then music paper. I also grabbed a few other options that you might consider. Sometimes you can find these little, I think they're at like Joann's, and I don't know what they're used for, but I use them to tuck in on a gift sometimes. Cute little pom-poms. I thought these clips would be fun, like if you were to attach a tag or a name. And then I have just these, I think I've showed you on one of the other days, these just little paper pieces, which I also think would be fun to decorate and embellish a gift. And I think that's all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause for a minute. I'm going to put everything away, and then I'm going to set it all aside, and then I'm going to bring the other packages back over and show you how I'm going to embellish them. Okay, I'm back. I've cleared everything away, and I brought the just the gifts, things that I pre-wrapped over here. I did forget to mention, I have this little batch of little tiny, I think they're for, well, I know they're for jewelry. I say that, don't I? Oh, I think they're for jewelry. No, they absolutely are for jewelry. These little pieces that you could put on a necklace or something. I wanted to mention that I sometimes use those, and I will use that on the smallest gift, just to attach a little decorative piece. So I wanted to mention that also as an option. I'm sure there's tons more ideas out there if you were to look on Pinterest or Google. So the first thing I wanted to show you is I just wrapped this in brown craft paper. But I wanted to show you, I did just wrap it with tape, regular tape, but I wanted to show you, if I can find one that's will show up on camera. Maybe this black one will show up. How cute it is to use a different colored tape. So see how cute that would be to not have just regular cellophane. Would be to use this cute washi tape, and it just adds one more layer. It doesn't really go with what I'm going to be doing, but I wanted to show you that. That's why I have another obsession with this washi tape. Wow. Okay, I just gotta say, I keep admitting all my obsessions, and I wish you were here so you could tell me the things that you hoard, whether it's coffee cups or, tape measures or, fabric maybe. So, because I know we all have something that we keep a lot of, and maybe it's clothes or shoes even. So, okay, so what I'm going to do with this one, I just have a brown craft bag here. Now, I want you to think, I know most people use gift bags these days. It's like you get the gift bag, you toss it in there, you throw a piece of tissue over it, you're done in 1.5 seconds. But this is, and back on day 5, I did talk about how to take an ordinary store bag and convert it into a gift bag, because that is definitely an option. But what I want you to do is think about how you can do things differently. This is an opportunity to do things differently. It's an opportunity to think about things differently. How can I do it? This what I'm doing, for the most part, is very easy and very affordable, particularly if you just use your sacks, your grocery sacks. And if you look around your house and use, the clothes that you're donating, as your embellishments, wow, you would be so good to go. Okay, so for today, I have, like I said, I have this whole, every time I find some kind of cool fabric, I throw it in there. And for this one, I wanted to show you what I did. Is I just had, and I did not cut this a certain length. It was just, this was the length it was. It was some random piece of fabric. I put it right, centered it right over, and then I'm going to just basically tie it on. And it just makes a cute, instead of a bow or something like that. So, and then let's just kind of pull it around. Okay, now, there you have it. That did not take very long. I did have to have this fabric, but I'm telling you right now, I'm thinking this is even similar to like a table runner or something. If you have something like that, let's tuck this in a little bit different back here too. If you had something like that, how cute is that? That is so simple and so cute, and you're just using what you have. That's all you're doing. So I'm gonna set this one aside, actually, right over here. And go on to the next one. So, okay, the next biggest one is this one. And so I have kind of pre-thought about it because I didn't want to waste a lot of your time. And I kind of wanted to talk during a lot of it, so instead of fast forwarding. But, okay, so this was the kind of the vintage wallpaper. And all I'm going to do is take a common, this is a ribbon I've probably had for 10 years because I've bought in a big, part of my obsession was, buy a lot. But I love it. I absolutely love it. It's really thin. So because it's so, it's so narrow, it's like a 1/4 inch or maybe even an 1/8 inch, probably an 1/8 inch. I'm going to wrap it around a few times. So I think sometimes we forget, like, oh, we just put it around once and it's not enough. Well, yeah, it's not enough because this is a bigger package and it needs to be wrapped around a bunch of times to kind of give it a cuter look. So let's tie that on. Let's tie a little bow, even though I'm not sure we want a little bow. And then I'm going to kind of spread this out a little bit. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, okay, yeah, I do kind of, the little bow is kind of cute. Let's just cut those ends. Now, that is cute enough because the paper stands alone, but I think we need a little bit more. I know, it's crazy, but it's the truth. So I have this little piece of burlap that I've cut off the rice bag, which if you guys ever get rice, you'd have one of those too. And I'm gonna tuck that right in here. I cut it wonky and then I just pulled the edges like this. I'll just show you so that they frayed all the way around. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna tuck it underneath here and there you go. I just think it kind of ramps it up one level. So you can use whatever you have. Just think about like wrapping, putting your ribbon or whatever it is that you twine or whatever, and then adding one more little special thing. We'll set that aside. We'll go on to our next one. Okay, so this is the one I use, that kind of greenish colored paper that I talked about, that's kind of from old school or from a school. And in my bag of fabrics, I did find at one point these samples of upholstery fabric. It was like a little booklet of them. And this is one from that. And so what I did is I went through and I took out all the ones I liked and I saved those, and I've used those for different things. And this is one. I don't have a lot of those left. And the rest I got rid of. But what I like is this one fits very nicely on here. Now I could just square it off, but I don't really like that. So I think I'm gonna angle it. And I have a lot of different kinds of twine and ribbon, but I have this really thick ribbon or twine, and I think it might be kind of fun wrapped around here. So I'm gonna try that. So, it's a little awkward to use here, but let's just start here and go. We're just gonna go around one time. This is really thick. And I don't know, this might need an extra thing too. So what I want to say is, during this, while I'm wrapping this stuff, one other thing is, while we're home, sometimes it allows us the time to think about the things that are working and to think about the things that are not working. Which we often do not take time otherwise to do. So I hope that this slower pace is allowing you the time to do that, to kind of slow down and say, hey, this is what I really want moving forward. I want to let go of that and I want to pursue this, because I'm finding that this is the good part of my life slowing down, of a slower pace. These are the things I can see that are right in front of me right now. And I know for myself that it's happened too. It's like, okay, yeah, these are the things that I'm going to value and that I want to value more. I want to pursue more. So, okay, not to get all, tell you what to do, but that would be my advice. So here's our gift. Okay. So now you might need to put a little tape there, but this is basically it in what we're talking about right here. And I'm going to pull this down, and I think what I need to do, and I will do that later, is I feel like it could actually use something else, but I don't know that I have anything else. Yeah, maybe a butterfly would be kind of cute. So yeah, I'm not really sure, but I think, something like, maybe it's too much. What do you guys think? I don't know. I might add a little something, if I had something that was a better color, that would be kind of a cool idea. So I might add something, I might not. I might just leave it the way it is. Let me try this book paper real quick. I don't think this is what I want, but you never know until you try. You guys are seeing kind of how my process goes. Now that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So I'm going to leave that for now. I don't know that that's necessarily what I want to do. I feel like it needs some kind of fabric or something, but for now that's fine. Okay, the next one is the map. I use the map to wrap this little box, and I'm just going to use this kind of velvet ribbon to wrap around it. And let's see, what do I need to do here? I think I'm just going to do a small little bow on top. Now a lot of these, what I do too is I hang on to all the leftover ribbon. So if I'm somewhere and people are tossing out their ribbon, hi, can I have that? No, I mean, I don't do it in a way that's awkward. Well, maybe I do. But the point is, I feel like, why throw away perfectly good, beautiful ribbon if I can reuse it and put it into my hoarding situation. So don't be afraid to ask your friends for their leftover ribbon if they're just going to throw it out anyway. I'm just saying. Okay, we need that a little bit longer. And I think sometimes it's fun to use a little bit thicker ribbon on a package that's a little bit smaller, because the other ones we did use, you know, narrow ribbon or narrow kind of things on the packages instead of thicker ribbon. And the other thing I'm going to say right now is I'm no bow expert either. I always, you know, I think you guys have noticed by this time that I'm all about close enough, and it just, you know, I want it to look good because I am about that. But I'm not gonna obsess over it being perfect. I just want it to look kind of cute. So there you have it. We're gonna cut those ends. There you go, and that one is already cut. And that, I believe, well, you know, I never can go wrong with a little book paper. I think not. I think it's cute the way it is. It's got a lot going on. There's that package. Okay, so our final package is this tiny little jewelry box. And what I'm deciding to do is I'm using one of these, I don't know if you can see it, these tiny, teeny tiny little jewelry pieces that I have talked about that I do not do jewelry, do not make jewelry. And I have it on a very thin brown velvet ribbon. And I'm going to wrap around multiple times. And then I think what I'm going to do is tie it on the back. So just in a knot. So there you have it. Well, not quite, almost. Cut those down. Okay, there you have it. So that is lots of ideas for gift wrapping. I hope you will look at your fabric around your house differently. I hope you'll look at ribbon differently, and all the little, even your rice bags differently. I hope that you think of everything as a possible source of gift wrap ideas, because it's super fun. Once you get started, you'll never want to use a gift bag again, unless you're gonna go back to day 5 and embellish a store bag. Then that's fine. Anyway, thank you for joining me for day 23 of 30 Days of Creativity. I hope you had fun, and I will see you next time.